Okay, so here we are live now. Again, it's a Friday, and as you know, every Friday I come and meet you for what is called as this happy hour of coaching. As I said, it's not a New Year resolution which I have taken. It's more of a habit which I'm trying to inculcate so that I learn more than you. Okay, so the intention here is to learn from all of us here. Okay, we have a very rich community. We have a lot of experienced people out here, right? And obviously I take this as an opportunity for me to learn and know more about what's happening in the industry, what are the things which are the latest trends, and that is a motivation for me to come on a channel like this and share my experiences. This time I thought that I will take a totally different topic. Okay, let's not talk about the world where we all of us work, right, from Monday to Friday. I thought that let's take up a topic which is again very, very close to my heart. And I call it as personal branding. I'm going to present my story. So it might sound a little dry or boring, okay, because it's my story that how I created a personal branding about myself. I don't consider myself as a celebrity. Okay, I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a VIP person. I'm not someone who's actually that famous in the industry. But what I wanted to share was that how each one of us can create that unique storyline of ours. That is the whole intention, right? And what we need to understand is that this is all what we need. Okay, howsoever we disagree. Remember, today's the world of cutthroat competition. We have to brand ourselves. I'm sure you would have experienced this many times. You would have seen this happening when you go for a discussion, or when you go for that promotion meeting, or when you go for that interview. You would have seen that, you know what, somehow you could not click, or somehow the other person stole the show. And the reason was that obviously qualification wise, you were definitely at par with that person. But what happened was that there was something, that X factor. There was something what we call as that extra edge which this person had, and which actually made him or her get that coveted position or that coveted role. Okay, so it stems from that. I would say, it's more like a, how do I create a unique storyline for myself? So that's why it is called your story, your brand. Okay, whatever things I'm going to tell, just a disclaimer, these are the things which I have applied. I'm not saying that you have to apply these things and the same results will appear. It's like, I would say, like those initial days of COVID vaccine, right? Just because one company came out with a vaccine and the efficacy of that is higher doesn't mean that every patient will get benefited out of it. So, but I'm just trying to share some of my experiences which I used during my last 5 to 6 years, and to create a kind of a unique identity, so-called unique identity about myself. Again, not boasting about myself here. Just wanted to share some experience, and wanted to keep it a little lighter topic for this time, because last Friday we had a session, and I'm sure many of you also attended the Sunday session with Sunil Mundra, right? The thought leader on, from ThoughtWorks, right? And of course, in case you missed those sessions, you can always go to the YouTube channel, and you can actually go through the recording of both these sessions. So that's by purpose I have kept it a little light weighted session for all of you. But before that, I would like all of you to give this poll. It's a small poll of only 3 questions. Okay, it's a small poll of only 3 questions. I'm launching this poll. uh, you can just you can just answer these questions before we move ahead. So the first question is, how many of you do you know me? Okay, how many of you have interacted me or know me? Okay, yes or no, objective question. And then question number 2, how many of you are currently looking for a job right now? And number 3 is, what matters most in an interview or in a corporate world? Is it certificate? Is it differentiation in the way you articulate the story? That's what matters the most. Okay, so option 3 is wrong. Actually, you can ignore it. That came by mistake. That is a typo there. Option 3. Obviously, you can see that there are only 2 options in question number 3 also. Okay, I'm just looking at the poll here just to get an insight. And remember, it's a confidential poll. Nothing will remain after this session gets over. Okay, so still 30% of the people don't know me. Great. I'm very happy to know that. So there's a work for me to be done. I can see that 30%, in fact, it is increasing now. It is now almost 36%. 35-36% of the people don't know me, which is good sign. Okay, which is a good sign what we have. Okay, I'll give you another 1 minute because there are still 4 people who are yet to do the polling. If the remaining 4 people, if you can just do the polling, 3 people now, if you can just do the polling. I don't know who are the 3 people because I've kept it anonymous purposely so that this data is not shared out. Yeah, now we have 2 more people who are yet to do the poll. Okay, great. What matters most? 92% of you are so far saying differentiation in the way you articulate your story. So which proves the reason for this webinar. Okay, I'm stopping the polling so that we start with the discussion. And I'll just share the results with all of you. I'll just share the results with all of you. So these are the results what we have. And obviously, yeah, 92% of you have said question number 3 was very important for me. What matters most in an interview? Is it the kind of degrees or certificates you have? Or is it the differentiation in which you articulate your story? I think this is a challenge which we all have been facing. Last week, I interviewed for an agile coaching position. We had this position open for long. We had 300 resumes, okay, out of which we had to reject 290 resumes straight away. And believe me, all the resumes had the same story. I mean, as if someone had copy pasted it from each other, okay? The same set of certifications, the same set of description, the same set of, I would say, the articulation, and we actually could not go ahead with those resumes. The reason being that obviously the storyline is not appealing, as simple as that, right? Today, any guesses how much time does a recruiter has to go through your resume? I mean, this was a number which came out very recently. Any guesses? How much time does the interviewer actually goes through your resume? Any guesses? Any quick guesses around it? Maybe that should have been a polling question. It's hardly a minute. It's hardly a minute, believe me. Okay. And in a minute, you have to create that impression. In a minute, you have to actually create that positivity about yourself as to why even the person should be calling you for a discussion. Forget about offer letter. Why should you be called for a discussion in first place? That is something which is very, very important, right? So let us start now and let us go deep dive into this topic. And of course, I'll come back to this slide a little later. Some things about the YouTube channel and all. So that will come to a little later. Yes, ATS will scan your resume, but believe me, there are 2 things which a robo cannot do. I always believe in that. Bots are scanning, no doubt, but there's a human element also. Okay, so there are 2 things which a bot will never have, which a human being has. One is intelligence and second is stupidity. And both are very important. Both are very, very important to succeed in life. I always believe you have to be stupid enough to do those mistakes and learn from those mistakes. So although bots do it, there's a human element involved in that. Since I've been a part of recruitment in many of the I would say for the positions, I know that yes, I mean, yes, even if a bot filters, at least we ensure that whatever resumes are rejected, we go through them. At a quick dip scan, we do it, and then we say that, okay, whether it was a real algorithm which worked or it was something which the bot could not identify. Okay, so yes, bots are there, but bots are mainly used at a junior level. When you're hiring a, let's say, trainee engineer or a graduate engineer trainee, that's where bots are there. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, the remaining 33%, these are my LinkedIn coordinates. You can search me on LinkedIn and feel free to connect with me if you find any value in connecting with me. I also have a YouTube channel. I will share the details of that YouTube channel towards the end of the program. And I also have a Telegram group called Pune Agile Thought Leaders. So if you go on Telegram, in case you are on Telegram already, if you search this group, Pune Agile Thought Leaders, you will be able to find it, and please feel free to subscribe to that. I always consider myself as a coaching partner and under which I'm running initiatives like this. Okay. Okay. So let us start with a very interesting icebreaker. I think Warren Buffett, who doesn't know Warren Buffett, right? I mean, the famous financial wizard, if I were to say, some very famous quotes by Warren Buffett. Obviously, these are on the money side of things. Okay, what he says is, I'll tell you how to become rich, close the doors, be fearful when others are greedy, Be greedy when others are fearful. But there's another interesting quote which I like about Warren Buffett is this: if you don't find a way to make money while you're asleep, you will work until you die. I mean, at least I don't want to die. I don't want to work till I die, right? I mean, it's a different story that when I say work, I have a different definition of work as such. But this is a very famous quote of Warren Buffett, what we have here. Okay, so coming closer to the topic on personal branding, there's a puzzle for you. There's a nice trivia or a puzzle for you. This person was born in a middle class family of a farmer, and he or she had an IQ of 132. Any guesses who this person could be? Born in a very, very middle class family. His father was a farmer, and he or she had an IQ of 132. Any guesses? I know there could be a lot of people with an IQ of 132. APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, interesting. Any other guesses? We have one guess coming up as APJ Abdul Kalam. Any guesses? Is it Donald Trump? Is it Joe Biden? Is it Kamala Harris? Is it Narendra Modi? Is it, let's say, Imran Khan? We don't know, right? I mean, it's a very, very vague clue. Okay, second clue. Got admission into Oxford University and enrolled in its dramatics club. Anyone? Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. Okay, interesting. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? It's okay. You can be wrong. I mean, obviously, I have not revealed. Warren Buffett, no. I would not have, it would not have been that easy, right? When the picture of Warren Buffett came earlier. So it's definitely not Warren Buffett. Yes, anyone else? Someone close to theater, someone close to film, someone close to television. That's a hint I'm giving you. Films, television, and theater. Javed Akhtar, okay, interesting. I don't know if Javed Akhtar came from a family of farmers, okay? I don't think so. Okay, clue number 3. Had a stammering problem, so was rejected in acting in many auditions. Now this is becoming more and more interesting. This is becoming more and more interesting as we are speaking now. James Earl Jones, okay, interesting. MF Hussain, was he in Oxford? I don't know. Amitabh Bachchan never went to Oxford. I don't think Amitabh Bachchan went to Oxford. Okay, a very, very famous personality, Anand Mahindra. Okay, the last one. Okay, the last one. Let us see if you get it now. Okay, Jim Carrey, Hrithik Roshan, my God. Okay, he started his own show, which became a huge success. Now it should be clear. Now it should be clear, I think. Rowan Atkinson, absolutely right. It is none other than Rowan Atkinson. Now imagine a person who was ridiculed, who was rejected in a theater, in an acting club of Oxford University. And he actually went on to create one of the most interesting series. I think love it or hate it, you can't ignore that series. I think you know which series I'm referring to, Mr. Bean, right? I mean, this person has created a curiosity out of not speaking a single dialogue. Right? I mean, he could create his own unique brand identity, right? That is what we are talking here, right? The intent here is, okay, not why he was rejected or what was the problem. But what I'm trying to tell is each one of us has got a unique identity. Each one of us has got a unique skill, which we have to ensure we tap onto it, right? How do we convert our weaknesses into opportunities? As you can see here, he was rejected. He was rejected in auditions. He was not even taken in the dramatics club of Oxford University. And in fact, one of the feedback he got was that he can never act. And then he came out with his own show. He came out with his own, I would say even a cartoon strip came out in his name, right? So the intent, what I'm trying to tell is that each one of us has got a unique identity or a unique personality. When I look at resumes, I think I told about resumes, right? They're mostly these days copy paste. No one wants to articulate their own story. I came across a very interesting resume once. Just a couple of months back. This person had actually highlighted her failure story, not a success story. In the resume, that person had highlighted her failure story as to why the transformation failed. What were the learnings from the transformation and how she is going to take this failure as a learning for the future engagement. So obviously we all think that the interviewer would be happy, right? If I tell him that in the current project I am doing wonders, right? My velocity has dramatically improved, my CI/CD pipeline is robust, there is no leakage in the code, defects perfect, everything like a kind of like a butter knife cutting through the butter, right? A hot butter knife cutting through the butter is my transformation. No, I mean, I can always talk about my failure story, right? I mean, why are we afraid of failures? Why are we afraid of telling the reality in an interview? That is what troubles me a lot, right? I mean, when I ask a question that tell me what's happening in your engagement, 99 out of 100 people will tell me that, you know what, things are absolutely fine. Okay, nothing going wrong, right? I mean, I am there, so things are absolutely going on fine. Then I ask them, then why do you want to leave the company, right? Obviously, the question would be, why do you want to leave? If you're in such a heavenly paradise of agility, why do you want to leave this organization, right? Obviously, it's not money which is the only motivation. There are some other reasons also, right? So what I'm trying to tell is be transparent. Call a spade is what we need to understand here, right? That is one important thing I wanted to say here, right? I mean, failure is a part of our life, right? Never the interviewer tells that story. You can always start, right? And what were your key learnings out of that experience? How many of us really do that, right? I mean, I can at least vouch from my experience. When I interview people, everyone, it's a rosy, it's a picture perfect, right? It's a picture perfect, like a Bollywood movie where the hero has actually bashed up all the villains and it's in a nirvana state. So my question to them is, if your transformation isn't in a nirvana state, what are you doing there as a coach? You are not supposed to be there in first place if your transformation has reached nirvana state, right? So that's what I wanted to start with. Again, just a disclaimer, I'm neither a celebrity nor a VVIP person. I should not even use that word. I'm a normal person. I'm not using that Hindi translation for obvious reasons. I'm not a personality development guru or a coach, and I'm not at all an image consultant. Okay, so I'm none of these. Whatever experiences I'm going to share or talk, they're going to come from my own experiences, what I have been on this side when I'm being interviewing people, and when I have also gone in for an interview myself. When I also go in for an interview, what are the things which I have been doing? So that's the story which I'll be talking about, right? I think many of us know this. For those of you who don't know this, this is nothing but a Japanese model, which is called as Ikigai. What is Ikigai? Ikigai is that, do I get a motivation to go to work on a Monday morning? Okay, which zone am I? Am I just going to work because I want this? I want a paycheck on 31st. That's the reason why I'm going. Or am I going because I'm loving something which I do? Or I love going to office, or I'm having a skill which the world needs. For example, I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor is what I'm saying. I hope all of you can see the slides. All of you can see the slide. I'm on slide Ikigai. Everyone able to see the slide Ikigai? Kindly confirm. Slide number 7. Yes. Okay. Balganesh, please check your network connection. Okay. So Ikigai is what we say is the nirvana state. Like, it's not just because I'm good at something I want to do the work. It's not because the world needs. So if I'm a doctor or a nurse, definitely I'm in a noble profession. I'm doing the work because the world needs it, but I'm not getting paid for it. Okay, my salary is very low, or I don't love doing that work, or I'm not good at it. Then no point, right? Then no point. So what it says is that you should be in this sweet spot. You should be in this what is called as a sweet spot. And what is this sweet spot? Sweet spot is something that you are not only paid for your profession, you're not only good at it, you not only love it, but you also do something which the world needs. So have we found our Ikigai moment? At least I can say for myself, I have not yet found it. Okay, I have not yet found my Ikigai moment. I'm towards it, but I have not found my Ikigai moment. So there's a famous quote: the best day of your life is the one on which you decide your life is your own. No apologies, no excuses. Okay, no one to lean on, sorry, and no one to blame on anyone, right? So that's the Ikigai moment, what we talk about, right? I mean, are we in that Ikigai moment where we are motivated, right? How many of us get frustrated when we go into an appraisal meeting, right? I can tell my experience. My personal appraisal meetings have not been more than 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, this is a secret I'm revealing. I always make a statement at the start only, whatever you give, I'm going to take. I'm not going to challenge it. Okay, I'm not going to challenge it. Two reasons for it. Either you have done a thorough study of myself, what has been my performance in last 1 year, or probably you have not done it, right? I mean, those are the only two conclusions. No point in fighting in both the cases, right? No point in fighting. I mean, why do you increase your blood pressure, right? Accept it and move on, right? I mean, if the rating is bad, so be it. I mean, what's so deal in that, right? I mean, I've seen people whose BPs increases, right? Suddenly sugar level increases when they come out of an appraisal meeting. And then I try to counsel and coach them. Come on, this is not a reflection of your performance. This is the reflection of the perception which this person has about you. And you can't change the perception, right? You are not, it's not possible for you to change the perception. And people know the good work, what you have done. There are other mechanisms in the organizations where they know that what is a good or the bad work, what you have done, right? So that is what we need to understand, the purpose of life, the Ikigai moment, right? And what I'm obviously, this topic is about design thinking and how you apply the personal branding with it. I think design thinking, everyone knows, customer centric, empathy based problem solving method. I had conducted a design thinking webinar just 3 weeks back. You can go and have a look at the recording. So I'm not going into the details of it. Design thinking is primarily used for solving wicked problems. Wicked problems are those problems which cannot be solved. It's a human-centric process, mindful process, where the focus is more on a demo rather than on something which is telling something. It's more about the demo. Like, okay, show us that this is working. Show us that this experiment has been successful. Okay, it's about radical collaboration and a culture of prototyping. Okay, so this was a problem statement which I had around 7-8 years back. Okay, 7-8 years back, what had happened was with me, nothing, I mean, nothing great in life, right? Nothing wrong or nothing bad experience or nothing that great experience also. Suddenly, one fine day, I realized that, you know what, people don't know me. I don't know how it came, how that Ikigai movement came out of me, right? People don't really know me. And I used to attend a lot of conferences through my own money. Okay, again, I was never expecting the company to pay for it. I think that's another mistake which we make. We think that everything company is going to pay for us. No, why don't we invest ourselves in our growth? So I said that, oh my God, this person is so popular. He gave a very fantastic topic in a conference. Even I should be doing it, right? I should be also doing it. And I started applying for conferences. And you know, I realized that copy paste will not work. So what was the mistake I did? I blindly copied what other people were doing. I blindly copied the topics which other people were talking in conferences with some minor variation. And in fact, in that year, all my conference papers, all my webinars got rejected. Straight away, they were rejected. And that's what happened, right? And then I realized that I had to invest in myself. I had to do some kind of an investment in myself. Now, investment in yourself is not just money. It is not just money which you will have to invest. Okay, there are some more things also you will have to invest into. One tip I took in those days was that I have to cut my comfort zone. I'm too much in my comfort zone. I'm not really challenging out myself. Okay, and I need to have my own PTO or personal time off. So what I'm going to tell you today is a secret of my life. Okay, again, it's up to you to take it or not take it. What I decided on that day was that I will daily have 1 hour for myself. I will have 1 hour for myself out of 24 hours. When I say 1 hour for myself, I'm not with anybody around me, not only my friends, not only my colleagues, not only my family members near and dear, and there won't be any cell phone with me for that 1 hour. That 1 hour is exclusively for me. I'm not saying that I went into meditation or yoga or those things. No, I could just be sitting and thinking about something. It's not meditation. Okay, I'm not that yogic guru or someone who's recommending here a 1 hour, I would say, a yoga or an exercise or a gym, something like that. No, this 1 hour is for yourself. What I did was I just had two tools with me, a blank paper and a pen. Those were the only tools which I had. No laptop. Okay, no laptop, no digital detox, as we say, digital detox. This is a tool which I have been using. That's it. I mean, you will find no other tool in any of the slides. Okay, this is the only tool which I had, a simple pen and a blank paper. That was only thing I had. I did a lot of things in that. Obviously, I'm not going into the details what I did, but definitely it was all related to this problem solving. Okay, so daily 1 hour, and I still continue it. I strongly believe that as an individual, you should have that 1 hour. I don't think it is difficult to get 1 hour out of your busy schedule yourself. 1 hour for yourself. I think that's the least what you can demand from your body. That's the least what you can demand from your family members, right? And this is your right. This is your right, what I feel, as an individual, for your own time. You could go down and walk, but then you have to be very careful, because if you go to your down in your society, obviously you'll get friends and all, right? So right, so obviously you have to have that mechanisms of having that 1 hour for yourself. That's the investment what I did. Okay, in the initial days, I had a realization. That am I too late in my life? So that time I was around 43, 44. Am I too late to brand myself, right? Already, I would say 15 years, 16 years of my career are gone. Am I too late? And then I came across this interesting graphics. When did people start their business for the first time? And there are some very interesting case studies here. KFC owner, Colonel Sanders, he started KFC when he was 65 years old. Imagine the kind of motivation he has. Coca-Cola inventor invented it when he was 55. Okay, then Intel was founded by Robert Nice when he was almost 40, 42, right? So these are some of the interesting, I would say, cases. These are some of the interesting cases that it does not, age is just a number. Age is just a number when you want to brand yourself, right? It's nothing like that I should have done this 10 years back, or I should wait for another 5 more years and then go into this. That nirvana moment, that Ikigai moment, as far as branding is concerned, definitely came to me around that particular point in time. I'm talking about 6, 7 years back. Okay. And then, of course, yesterday was a history, today is a mystery, and tomorrow is a gift, right? We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? I mean, you never know, right? I would be there, I would not be there. It's a mystery box in front of us, right? Today is a gift. So let us cherish the gift, whatever we have. Forget what happened in the past. We talk about retrospectives, right, in our project. But I am a firm believer. I'm using a Hindi word here, jo ho gaya wo ho gaya, chodo usko, right? Start talking from today. Start thinking from today, right? Forget yesterday. I always believe in what I called as prospective rather than retrospective. I've also written an article on this in LinkedIn. In case anyone is interested, you can have a look at that article. I mean, that's a technique which is also being followed in projects now. What's the point in going in for a retrospective when things have already happened? Yes, there is a learning, but do you really think that it is worth to cry over a spilt milk? Okay, we can always look about in the future, right? Spilled over milk, it doesn't make any sense to cry over it now, right? So I firmly believe that yesterday was a history, today is a mystery, and sorry, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift which we have to live to the fullest. All right, so that's the realization which came to my mind. And then I started to apply design thinking in my personal life. Okay, I started to apply this design thinking model. Again, I'm not going into this model: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, test, and implement. And in this case, the brain, so there were two stakeholders: my heart and my mind. Those were the two stakeholders which I had. Right. So when we talk about empathy map, when we talk about personas, when we talk about canvas, right, a customer journey mapping, I had two stakeholders who were always at loggerheads with each other. One was my brain and another one was my heart. Right. So obviously I went through this process of empathizing with my heart, defining the problem statement, ideating solutions, prototyping, testing, and implementing. So I created my own persona map on that blank white paper. Who am I? What I'm trying to achieve? What is this problem statement? What do I like? What do I dislike? Am I being too egoistic when I'm saying that I want to brand myself? Is it money which I'm looking for, or is it fame which I'm looking for? I tried to do all those jugglery on that daily 1 hour which I took out for myself. Okay. And then I realized that there was some inherent problem statements which were coming out. While I was good in articulation in meetings, moment I went in front of people, suddenly that fear of failure started coming in. And basically my personality is very introvert. Okay, my personality is very introvert. I'm not that extrovert personality. And then I realized that probably my speaking skills need to improve. right? That was a problem statement which came out of this. That yes, definitely I know about the subject knowledge, whatever limited I wanted to present, whether it is user story estimation or whether it is, let us say, coaching skills. But one challenge was that, you know what, I was a poor speaker. I mean, I used to get that stage fright, as we say, right? I mean, there are many people who are good actors, but the moment you put them on a stage in front of a live audience, you get that kind of a fear. And in those days, I didn't have a luxury of Zoom meeting. Okay, those were the pre-COVID days, or BC, before COVID, where any conference you had to do, you were standing in front of a group of people. And how did I experience this? When I went in for paid conferences as an attendee, whenever there was an exercise, they used to call me for presenting and all. That's where I realized that there is some problem in that. Not that that people could find it out, but I definitely realized that cutting that, making sure that the audience is attracted, those skills are missing a lot, right? And then I decided to ideate. So what I did was I started commenting on some vague topics on Twitter, okay, without going into the controversy, okay, whether it's a political topic, whether it's an economic topic. I said that let me at least articulate my thoughts and start publishing it. I started watching more of English language channels, BBC, debates, more specifically the debates, CNN, BBC, those kind of channels, just to understand how a problem or a solution is figured out. And of course, the usual CNBCs and Economic Times, etc. And then I came out with very, very crazy ideas that should I propose this topic? Let's see what happens, right? As it is, my topics are not getting rejected, sorry. They are not getting selected. So should I propose some crazy topics, right? And there was a very interesting topic also, which I presented. I don't know how many of you know. I've actually tried to correlate James Bond movies with Agile and DevOps. And this was a webinar which I'd done actually, and I did it last year also. Maybe we'll do it. If you find it interesting, we'll definitely do it in one of these sessions. Okay, what James Bond movies are actually teaching you from an agile DevOps perspective. Okay, all the movies, whether it is Sean Connery, whether it is let us say the current one, Daniel Craig, or whether it is any of those old Bond, Timothy Dalton also for that matter, how each of these characters is playing a kind of an agility and DevOps when they actually go in for a mission statement. Okay, that was a crazy idea which came, and I had actually delivered a webinar on that. Okay, in one of the meetups, etc. Okay, so that's what came out. And then, of course, there were some proposals, submissions which I did, call for speakers. Okay, there were some rejections again. There were some rejections again. I reworked on the feedback. And then, you know what? Suddenly, I found that 2017-18, suddenly I found that the hit ratio increased. Not that it was 100%, but it definitely increased. So people started liking these topics, and subconsciously I went into that zone of what we say, right? I mean, that model, what we have, from a zone of unconscious incompetence to a zone of unconscious competence. Those of you who have done my agile coaching masterclass know this model. Like today, if you ask anyone of you to drive at 1 o'clock in the night, I'm sure you will be able to drive without any problem. But remember your driving classes, when you are not even knowing what that ABC is, accelerator, brake, clutch, and a gear shift mechanism. So I went into a zone of unconscious competence, which means suddenly I found that, my speaker proposal started getting accepted. People started liking my talks. I started getting good feedback. So what I did, what I'm trying to tell is I applied this design thinking methodology right from the phase of empathize to the phase of implementation. Remember, design thinking is not linear, it is iterative. So many times I went from here to here. Many times I went from here to here, or here to here, back to the drawing board, as they say, right? Many times, in fact, here too, I went back again and again and tried to reframe myself, right? And then, of course, I started writing articles also. I started publishing some content on LinkedIn. Recently, I got published on another platform, which is called DZone. I'll share the links of that platform towards the end of this program. But what I'm trying to tell is, each one has got that unique skill. Each one has got that, I would say, unique attribute, which is hidden somewhere, which you have to bring it out. And how do you bring it out? Unless you challenge yourself, it is not going to come out to the fore, obviously, right? So again, another way of representing this, as I said, I defined the problem statement. I use whiteboarding techniques. One of the tools which I've used is story cubes. Anyone has heard about this? I'm not sure. Story cubes is a very interesting tool. It is actually for kids. It is actually for kids. So I don't know if any one of you has bought this story cube for your kids. But you know what? We have used this story cubes in our user story workshops also. We have used it for writing our functional and NFR stories. So it's a very interesting tool. So do Google it, StoryCube. I have used this tool for my personal branding and my journey. Story cubes are cubes which have got pictures, and you roll them up, you roll them out, and then what happens is based on the picture, you weave a story. Okay, so do Google this. What is Story Cube all about? We have used it actually for our user story workshop. So, I mean, obviously now slightly deviating here. When you go for an interview, person asks you about user story. I think we all talk about invest criteria. We talk about the 3C model, but why not bring about the story cubes if you have used it, right? I'm sure the interviewer would be happy to know this, that, okay, you have used the gamification technique for enabling your teams to write a user story, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. There are a lot of these tools you will find out. And also there's another tool which I've invented. I think many of you know this, Queen of Hearts. There's a gamification activity or an exercise which I have invented, which is called as gamification technique, Queen of Hearts. So what I'm trying to tell is, yes, we all use it, but we don't articulate this in interview, right? We talk about the usual mundane stuff, and then we try to figure out, oh, why did not I get selected, or what happened, like why was I rejected in that interview. Okay, yeah, coming back to this journey. Okay, coming back to this journey. So this was the journey which I went through this entire design thinking model. And you know what, this journey actually, what you see is basically going through these phases. I had first the problem statement, then the ideation, multiple ideas came, then I redraw, as I said, back to the drawing board. And then, of course, the success came through being a speaker, through being a webinar host, to writing articles on LinkedIn, to publishing. As I said, the problem statement was that how do I differentiate myself from the rest of the crowd? That was my problem statement. My problem statement was not related to money. Although I gave examples of Warren Buffett in the beginning, the problem statement here was more on how do I make myself visible? How do I make myself more prominent so that people, when they look at me, they know that, oh, okay, this is a person who has written this article. So you could say that I was more after the fame side of the things. That's the storyline which I wanted to share here with all of you. And again, this worked for me. This has worked for me. Obviously, I'm not saying that today also every conference my paper gets selected. There are still rejections, but at least I know the reason why it is getting rejected. But this has worked for me over the period of years. This is something which, as I said, I've tried to apply it in my even day-to-day life. Even when we go in for nowadays also, when we go in for a coaching workshop or when we go in for any training, I always try to bring about that gamification element. I always try to bring about that curiosity. Okay. And that's what I tend to do as a part of this exercise. Okay. So in a brief, this is what I wanted to communicate today. I know I've taken slightly 5 minutes more. We will open up for questions now, but just wanted to let you know that we have an Agile Coaching Masterclass coming up on 20th and 21st March 2021. Which is 2 weeks from now, Saturday, Sunday. It's in the European time zone and Indian time zone, 1:30 p.m. IST, 8 a.m. GMT. And we do a lot of these interesting stuff in that program. Like, as I said, the Queen of Hearts game, the Wheel of Change, right? A coaching experiential learning, innovators compass, a product thinking, business outcomes. So those are the things what we do as a part of this program. I know many of you have already attended this program, but those of you who are interested in that program can have a look at what the program content is. There's also a video of that program, which I'll share the link with all of you. And if you're interested, do reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to answer any queries related to this program. So this is a link of the program which I'm publishing here. And just wanted to let you also know that we have a YouTube channel also. I'm also sharing the link of that YouTube channel so that you can subscribe to videos on the YouTube channel. If you are interested, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. There are a lot of interesting videos on that YouTube channel on transformation, on coaching, and on, let us say, on servant leadership. So a lot of interesting videos are there on that channel. So do subscribe to that YouTube channel. And now I will open up for Q&A. So if there are any questions anyone has, you can actually ask any questions. So I'll just unmute you. and you can just ask if there are any questions. Just give me a minute. I'm just unmuting you all. Currently, all of you are muted. Okay, so you can now unmute yourself and ask any questions. Anyone has any questions, please unmute yourself. So there's an unmute button. You will have to unmute yourself.
Hi, Ashish.
Yes, hello. Yes, anyone, any questions?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Anup, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just asking this Agile Coaching Masterclass, is it affiliated to some organization? I mean, is it like from Scrum org or Scrum Inc. or something? So what is the master body for this parent organization for this?
Okay. So there's no master body for this. See, again, coming back to the same question where we started this program, right? The whole intention of this program is to teach what the industry wants.
Okay.
So the gamification exercises and all, they're all coming from my own experience as a coach, my real life examples of transformation. So it's not affiliated to any body as such. But to tell you, we have coached around 200 plus participants so far in last 2 years, and all of them have applied these techniques in their workplace. So it's a pure experiential learning program. And this gives you 10 PDUs or SEUs. If you're a PMP certified or a Scrum Alliance certificate holder, you can claim SEUs for this.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Anup. Yeah. Anyone else? Any question?
Hi, Ashutosh. It's Kaushik here.
Yeah, Kaushik. Yeah, go ahead.
So, we talked about applying the concepts, that is the phases, the 6 phases of design thinking to personal branding. My question is that, yes, we do some research, that is when we are searching for a job. In the poll also, if you, I think, if you remember, I think around 60% of the same number of people who told that they know you. I think maybe the same set of people also were looking for a job. And I belong to the set that who are not looking for the medicine, they have just started a new job. But the thing is that during those phases when we are actively looking for a job, we find the motivation, or we find the we have the need to make our presence felt, that is in LinkedIn or in forums or something like that, so that we are updated on the current topics and we build our knowledge base and stuff. But once you start a job, I have started a new job about 2 months back as a business analyst in a company over here in Chennai. And I found that, I'm 2 months into the job now, that I'm not that very active. I am still curious about, and that's the reason why I'm attending your webinar right now. Is that there is a natural dip that I find in my curiosity or interest as soon as I enter a new job, and I am kind of immersing myself in the new position, in the new organization. So how do you keep that particular thirst for doing this on a regular basis? You mentioned about having your own, taking a personal time off on a daily basis. Apart from those things, that might be, I think, that might be a good place to start. But in general, how do you find the motivation, or how do you find, you have to answer that why, right, to do something. So what is your this thing to have this done on a regular basis to keep on maintaining your brand value, like what companies do for products. So how do we do that? Because as I told you, when you're searching for a job, yes, you do all that is required to make yourself get noticed. But after that, what do we do?
So just to tell you, why do you think I'm doing this session? I mean, any thoughts around it? Any guesses? I mean, what is it that I'm getting out of this?
Yeah, you get a wider audience.
The
And
mindset of a person.
Sorry.
I think the mindset of, about what is a person thinking means what are his ambitions and the hidden qualities.
No. I'm asking about myself. I mean, why I'm doing this every Friday evening, 8 o'clock.
yeah. No, I understand that for you, it's a brand building, or maintaining that
To build a brand.
brand loyalty of your audience. Yeah, I understand that. But everybody is not Ashutosh, right? So that's
That's what
that's
I'm saying. So I'm coming to your answer. See, what happens is you have to prevent yourself from going into that comfort zone. So currently you are in a comfort zone. So you are in that comfort zone. So somehow you'll have to give that trigger saying that, no, come what may be, this is a habit which I don't want to leave. See, it's like going to the gym daily, right? I mean, I'm not a avid gym goer, but once you decide that you have to go to the gym, you have to go to the gym, right? Come what may be, right? You can't say that, no, today it is raining, so I won't go. You know what, today I woke up late, so I will not go. So it's a habit. You have to cultivate that habit. So I mean, those things are something which you will have to cultivate over a period of time. That intrinsic motivation, we call it as intrinsic motivation. No one is telling me to do this. Okay, no one is telling me to do this. I'm not getting anything out of this. Okay, it's just that I want to speak for 1 hour on a Friday evening, 8 o'clock. That's it. And that's how this happy hour of coaching has come into existence. So what I'm trying to tell here is that you have to build that intrinsic motivation, because remember, moment you go into the comfort zone, today it is COVID, you went into a new job, luckily you got a new job, you started work on it. Tomorrow it could be COVID 2.0, which will hit us very badly, right? And then we try to go for solutions, right? Rather have that solution created for yourself. I'll give you my personal experience. Since I've been conducting these webinars for long, since I've been conducting these sessions for long, in one of the interviews, there was a person who was interviewing me, and he happened to be in one of my conference as an attendee. And you know what? Out of 1 hour of interview, 45 minutes was spent on the topic which I took in that webinar. He said that, no, I felt that this topic was very interesting, but you created that curiosity, but these were things you could have done better. And then only 15 minutes, he asked me about my agile coaching experience, what I'm doing, what I'm not doing. Not even 15 minutes, I would say 10 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes. We were just talking about that event where both of us were there. I was a speaker, this person was an attendee. Now that was the kind of rapport he had. So he knew some things, right? He's not going to ask me that how much should be the time box of a daily stand-up meeting. He knew that I am a speaker there. So obviously those things are something which will look very silly in that forum, right? 45 to 50 minutes, we were just talking about those events. We also briefly went into cricket for some time, came back again. And then last 10 minutes only, he asked me some basic information. So what I'm trying to tell is this is an advantage which I got there. This is a major advantage which I got in that interview and in that discussion. So obviously, when you have that intrinsic motivation to do something what you love, as they say, right? If you're doing something which is passionate, you don't have to look for a job. The job will automatically come to you, right? You don't have to search for a job when the crisis hits. So to answer your question, yes, today you are safe and secure because you're in that comfort zone. And I'm not saying that you have to do exactly what I have done. What I'm trying to tell is have that one thing which you like doing, right? Whether it could be painting, whether it could be having a humor show or a comedy show or writing, whatever it is, take that up and keep that as an intrinsic motivation is what I'm trying to tell here.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, that was very helpful. Thank you.
Thanks, Kaushik. Yeah. Anyone else? Any question? I have just shared the links of my article in case anyone would like to read those articles. They are available on DZone. And obviously, I'm not looking for only good comments. If you feel that what I've written doesn't make sense, feel free to write there. Okay, I'm very, very psychologically safe personality. And no worries. We'll talk about it in more detail. If you find that no things are something which are not appealing to you, or things which are very, very vague or ridiculous, please feel free to write on that blog. There's a comment section given there. I'll be more than happy to have it. I'm also publishing the link of the YouTube channel. Okay. So in case you would like to go and have a look at the videos, there also we have a video of top 5 reasons for the Agile Coaching Masterclass. Why one should enroll for the Agile Coaching Masterclass. In case you're interested, do reach out to me. And I'll be more than happy to discuss about Agile Coaching Masterclass program. Just wanted to let you know that there's a discount of 25% on that program right now. And this is a code. So in case anyone is interested, there's a discount code of 25%, including GST on that program. So you can use that code DISC25 to register for that program. And this will give you a 25% discount on that program. Okay, any questions anyone has? Any questions? No questions? Okay, so those of you who would like to connect with me on LinkedIn, please connect with me on LinkedIn. Would be happy to talk more. And obviously, there'll be another interesting session next.
Ashutosh, you said you are going to charge a GST. Have you been registered with GST?
Sorry.
You said no. The price for this session is plus GST, no?
No, it's including GST. It's including.
Okay. You are registered with GST.
Inclusive of GST. Yes. There's no separate GST. There's a processing fee of 300 rupees, but that is for Townscript. That is not for me.
Okay.
But the price includes GST.
Do you give any GST invoice?
No, so we can talk about it offline. Let's not talk here. You can ping me separately. Can you ping me separately?
Invoice you give for GST invoice? I'm talking.
No, that's what I said. Let's talk separately in the interest of this call. I'll give you my WhatsApp number. You can call. You can ping me here.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other question related to the topic anyone has? Okay, so yes, I mean, do subscribe to the channel, do attend this event. There will be another interesting session next Friday, unless I'm in a transit or I'm traveling somewhere. But otherwise, that's my endeavor, which I have that to come every Friday and talk to you. I'm pinging you the link of also the Telegram group. So in case anyone is interested, you can join the Telegram group also. I mean, that's optional, obviously. It's not mandatory to join the Telegram group, but just in case anyone is interested, do join the Telegram group also.
Ashutosh,
All right. So
just
yes,
one
sorry,
last question. You basically preach the safe methodologies also, or you work on a traditional agile methodologies?
Okay, so I'm actually a framework agnostic person. I don't go into any of the frameworks. I always believe that frameworks is something which you can learn quickly in a week's time. You don't need more than a week to go in for a framework. I personally believe. I have handled all the scaled agile model implementation. I'm not at all certified as of now. I'm just a CSM right now. But I've handled even safe implementation, Spotify less. I've handled those scaling implementations also.
I have been doing agile projects for last 12 years. I have not been certified. Only I have done recently the safe agilist. That's all. But I have been doing a traditional agile for last 12 years, and I mean, there are always challenges with the services companies, but I try to do my best.
True. That's true.
Sure. Thanks, Ashutosh.
Thanks.
So Ashutosh,
I hope, yes.
Yeah, Ashutosh, if we know the framework, so we can follow any model, Agile, Scrum, or anything, whatever, or safe method. Once we know the framework, that's important, right?
Sorry. I didn't get your question. Can you repeat?
Yeah, if we know the framework, that is the most common thing. So once we know framework, we can follow Agile, we can follow safe, or we can follow Scrum. So which framework
that's true.
you are following? And it's Agile coaching framework, right?
No, Agile Coaching Masterclass is a framework agnostic program. That's what I said. There is no framework. We are not discussing any framework.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a framework.
So to learn more about this, we can follow on YouTube.
That framework is not something what you should be talking about. You should be talking about Agile. You should be talking about
Agile. Okay. And is there any best book to follow Agile patterns? Like how we relate our daily lifestyle into Agile model, the daily projects, the things to do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sorry, I think I got disconnected. Anyone still there? Sorry, I think I got disconnected.
Yes, Ashutosh, we are there.
Yeah. Sorry. There was a minor glitch here, so that's why I got disconnected. Okay. Anyone else? Any question? Okay. So yes, I mean, do subscribe to the channel and do continue to attend these sessions, because I'm sure it will benefit you in the long run. I mean, any program you're going in for, I'm sure this will benefit all of you. So do subscribe to the channel also. And yeah, it was wonderful talking to all of you. And have a happy and a safe weekend to all of you. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you,
you. Bye.
Ashutosh. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice.
Bye.